Hello and welcome to your secret website for your new book, Learn Magic with Jim Stott. I'm Jim Stott and I'd like to take a few minutes in this video and teach you some additional tricks that you can do with the ones you've learned in your new book. I'll also touch base on some of the tricks that were in the book and show you a couple of hints. For example, this trick is in your book if you like to show off with cards. And what it is, if you haven't made it yet, it's very easy to do. Basically, you take a deck of cards and staple together every other cards on the ends like this. And you don't need a full deck, you only need like maybe 30 cards. If you got an old deck laying around the house that you don't know what to do with it, this is a good thing. So you might start off with this and say, I love magic, I hope you do too, let me show you some tricks. And then put this away so they don't ask to see it too close. Do another trick, and then come back with a deck of cards the same color and say, let me show you a trick that I think you'll like. I'm going to have someone pick a card. So you fan the cards out, you have someone pick a card, have everybody remember that card. In this case, it's the 7 of spades. And say something like this. Take the 7 of spades, put it on top of the deck. I'm going to cut the cards one time, and then an amazing thing is going to happen. I'm going to wave my hand over the deck, and the card you selected, the 7 of spades, will turn upside down. Watch. So then you spread the cards out and you say, there's one card upside down, but wait, is that your card? Because right now you don't know they picked the 7 of spades. They say, no, that's not my card. And you say, well, this tells me your card is 5 cards down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what was the name of your card? And they'll say the 7 of spades, and you say, there it is, the 7 of spades. And even more amazing, do you know what happens when you put the 5 and the 7 together? They attract 4 aces. That's an easy trick to do, and it's a great trick, and let me show you how it works. Before you do the trick, you find the 4 aces in the deck, and you find a 5. So you're going to put the 4 aces on the bottom of the deck, and you put the 5 upside down, and put the rest of the cards on top. So what you really have is a deck of cards, and when you get to the bottom, there's an upside down 5 and then the 4 aces. So to start the trick, you say, I'm going to have you pick a card, pick any card you want. Now when you do this, don't go all the way to the bottom or they may see the 5. Just say, go ahead, pick a card. I'll pick a card and have them look at it. And say, I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to have you put it on top of the deck, and I'm going to cut the cards one time. And then an amazing thing will happen. I'm going to wave my hands over the deck of cards, and your card will turn upside down. Watch. I'm going to spread the cards out. So there's one card upside down, so that must be your card. And they say, no, that's not it. You say, well, that tells me your card is 5 cards down. 1, 2, and I keep these face down as I deal them 4. And the 5th card would be your card. What was your card? And there it is, the 3 of hearts. And you know what happens anytime you put the 5 and the 3 together? They always attract 4 aces. Cool. That's a trick you can learn. It's easy to learn, easy to do, and you can follow that with this trick. You can have someone shuffle the deck or shuffle them yourself, it doesn't really matter. And say, I'm going to take a deck of cards and I'm going to make 3 piles. Okay? And you say, I'm going to have you pick the top card of any pile and look at it. So let's say they pick this card and they look at it. In this case, it's 4 of hearts. You say, I'm going to have you put it back on the deck. And you say, what I'm going to do now is something pretty amazing. I'm going to knock your card through the table. And there's 3 ways I can do it. I can hit it with my flat hand, I can hit it with my fist, or I can hit it with my knuckles. Which way would you like me to hit it? And let's say they say, your knuckles, you say, okay, I know that the soft spot on the table is over here, so I'm going to take your card and lay it there. I'm going to take these other 2 stacks, put them on the bottom, and watch. You hit it, and your card goes through the table. And you can even show them your card is no longer there because you just knocked it through the table. Let me show you how that works. This is a fun trick, and it's pretty amazing. You take the deck of cards, you make 3 stacks, and you want to keep some cards in your hand. And I'll show you why in just a minute. You have somebody pick a card, and sometimes you'll drop these cards down below the table if you're sitting, which you should be when you do this. If someone pick a card, let's say they pick this card, in this case a 4 of spades, you say, okay, put the card back on any stack you want to. So let's say this time they put it here. While they're doing that, you have your hands under the table and you slide the top card off into your hand. Now if your hand is kind of small, I'll show you a hint. But basically, you have your hand there and you say, I'm going to knock your card through the table, and there's 3 ways I can hit it. Now, you might want to look at them right in the eye to eye, and take your hand up, and you lay that extra card on top. You say, I can hit it with my open hand, I can hit it with my fist, or my knuckles. Which way would you like me to hit it? Let's say this time they say their fist. You say, okay, this time, the soft spot on the table's over here, so I'm going to take your card and put it there. That's not really their card. This is really their card, but they think this is it. You say, I'm going to take these 2 stacks, make sure you keep this one on top, add it to the cards you have, put it under the table, and so just like that, your card goes through the table. Pretty cool trick. I think you'll like that. Okay, let me show you another trick I think you'll like. In fact, I know you will. And this is one you can make. You start out with something like this. You say, okay, I want to show you there's 1 spot on this side, and over on this side there's 4 spots. Okay, now let's review. On this side there's 3 spots. This side there's 6 spots. So remember, 1 spot, 4 spots, 3 spots, 6 spots. Let me show you how that works. Okay. There are actually 2 spots on this side, and on the back side there are actually 5 spots. So when you start to trick, you put your fingers over this bottom spot. So you pull it out and say, I want you to remember there's 1 spot here. And then while you're saying that, you take your hand and turn it over and cover this spot that's here, like this. So then you just turn the card over, you say there's 4 spots there. Same thing, you take your hand, I'm going to cover it down there, and say there's 3 spots there. People will assume there's 3 spots there. And the same thing here, 6 spots here. So you just keep doing that. 1, 4, 3, 6. Okay? Down below this video, there's a link you can click on, and you can print out a large piece of paper that looks like this. Once you print that out, cut it out to this size, and then fold it in half like this. You might want to put a piece of cardboard in between and glue it, or you could just tape it, and then you've got the same trick. There's 1 on that side, 4 on that side, 3 on that side, 6 on that side. Simply a miracle. Okay. That's a trick you can make, and again, look down below and you'll find the download where you can copy and cut this out. Okay. Here's another trick. In your magic book, there was a trick with the upside down president. Basically, take a bill, you fold it over the top, and you just turn it around, and the president turns upside down. Well, you can also use the same dollar bill for another trick, or $5 bill, or 20. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I'm going to fold it over a couple of times. I'm going to take a rubber band. We're going to prove this. We're going to pretend that this is Houdini. So we're going to put Houdini inside the prison, and Houdini likes to escape from the prison. So we're going to lock him in. We're going to put handcuffs on him. Okay? So we're going to use paper clips to represent handcuffs. So we're going to put him in with that one, and then we're going to bend this back and use another paper clip to represent the other pair of handcuffs, and we're going to hook him in just like that. Now what you want to do is have someone hold this rubber band, and on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, you pull the 2 ends, and Houdini escapes with his handcuffs. That's a great trick. Let me show you how that works, and I'll show you another neat thing you can do as well. Let me get this off of here. Okay, this is a self-working trick. In fact, let me get 2 more paper clips to do it with. You fold the bill up, you put the rubber band in the middle of the bill. Now you can also do the same trick without the rubber band, and then the 2 paper clips will just jump up in the air and link together. But in this case, you take the dollar bill, you fold it over, you don't go all the way to the end, you go about halfway, and you take a paper clip, you just link those 2 together. Now you've got an end sticking out here. You're going to fold that back, and it won't go all the way, but you're going to paper clip that end onto the middle. Don't paper clip the whole thing. Paper clip it to the middle. You have someone hold the rubber band. You take the 2 ends, pull it, and Houdini escapes. Okay. In your book, there were some rope tricks. I'm going to show you one that was in the book in case you didn't read it yet or pay much attention. You take a rope and you say, I'm going to snap this rope like this, and a knot's going to appear in the end. That's my dog Lucy. You snap it. Oh, it didn't work. I forgot to say the magic words. You do it Oh, you need to help me say the magic words abracadabra, and a knot appears in the end. Here's how you do that trick in case you didn't read it. Before you do the trick, you tie a knot in the end of the rope. You put your hand over it. You come out and you say, I'm going to do a trick with a rope. I'm going to snap the rope and a knot's going to appear in the end. So you snap it, nothing happens. You put it in your hand, you do it again, same way as before. Why, we didn't need to say the magic words, and this time you need to help me. Well, this time when you do it, you let go of this end and the knot appears. Great. You can also do some other things with a piece of rope. You can take a rope and lay it over your hand like this, and just kind of flip it around like that, and snap it, and a rope appears in the middle. Now this will take a little bit of practice, but what you do, you lay the rope over your hand, and you just twist it so it's like that, and you reach back with your fingers, and you grab that part, and just shake it off your hand. There'll be a knot there, right on the rope. So another trick you can do with a rope, you need to get a ring someplace, and a large one, kind of heavy, would be helpful. But what you do, you put the ring on the rope, and you can show people how it slides back and forth. You say, I'm going to take the ring, grab your fingers, and throw it at the middle of the rope. But you have to be sure and say the magic words, and it jumps on and ties a knot around itself. That's a pretty cool trick that will really amaze some people. And it'll take a little bit of practice, but you can do it. You take your rope, put the ring on the end, and you can show them sliding it back and forth. So what you want to do, you're going to take the rope in your left hand, you're going to swing it out, but you want to try to make a loop. When you see the loop, you throw this ring into the loop. So you make a big loop, and if it doesn't work, just say, well, we forgot to say the magic words. Well, you've got to really help me with the magic words. And then you throw it in the middle. It's hard to do sitting down. You probably should do this standing up, and it appears on the rope. Truly a miracle. Okay? All right, I'm going to show you another rope trick. This is a famous trick that a lot of magicians do. In fact, I use this same trick in a lot of my professional magic shows. You need 3 ropes. And what you do, you start out saying, I've got 3 ropes that are exactly the same size. I have this one, I have this one, and I have this one. Oh, those don't look the same size, do they? But what we'll do, we'll take the short one, we'll put it there, we'll take the medium, put it there, and take the long one and put it there. I'm going to take the short one, I'm going to fold it up here. I'm going to take the medium one, I'm going to put it here, and put the long one here, and now they're all the same size. They have to be because all the oh, you don't believe that either. Well, this is where we take 3 ropes, blow on them and say hocus pocus, and we've got 3 ropes, 1, 2, 3 ropes that are exactly the same size. But if I hadn't said the magic words, it wouldn't have worked. We'd just have a little short one, a medium one, and a great big long one. All right, in order to do this trick, you need 3 ropes. The first one is approximately 12 inches long, the next one is 18 inches long, and the third one is about 2 feet long, 24 inches. So what I do, I take the ropes out and I say I've got 3 ropes exactly the same size, and I start showing them, and people see that they're not really the same size. You say, okay, let me show you what I'm going to do. I take the first one, I take the short one and put it like between your thumb and your fingers. You take the medium-sized rope, and you put that next in line, and you take the long rope, and you put that at the end. So you've got 3 ropes, short, medium, and long, with your thumb over them. So what you're going to do, I'm going to reach in front of the long one, reach behind, and grab the short one and fold it up and over, and put it over on the left-hand side. So really, I've looped it around the long rope, but you can't see that. So then say, I'm going to take the medium one, put that there, and the long one there. So now you take the 3 ropes on your right and pull them, and all the ropes look to be the same size. Now what proves that they're the same size, you have to count them. So that's the tricky part. So the first one, you just pull it out and say there's 1. And now the second one, I kind of put it between my 2 fingers here. And I reach over, and with my thumb and finger, I grab this one, and I switch and take this in the other hand and say there's 2 there. And this is really hiding how this looks. This is really 1 rope looped over the other one. So I've got 2 there, 1 more makes 3, but if I hadn't said the magic words, it wouldn't have worked. I would just have, now you just pull them out, a little short one, a medium one, and a great big long one. So let's do it again. You start with the short one, then the medium one, and then the long one. This trick is called the Professor's Nightmare, or the 3 rope trick. So reach out in front. You don't have to exaggerate it this much, but I'm just trying to show you. Reach behind and grab the short one and fold it up and over and put it on the left-hand side. And you fold up the medium one and the long one. And you say, watch, I'm going to take these 3. So you take 3 in each hand, stretch them out, and say, now they're all the same size. I have 1 that size, now you switch. I've got 2 that size, and 1 more makes 3. Okay, but if I hadn't said the magic words, it wouldn't have worked. I've just had a short one, a medium one, and a long one. That's a great trick, and that's a trick real magicians do, and you too will be a real magician, and I want you to learn how to do this trick. I'm going to show you another trick that I think you'll like. This trick is done with a penny and a quarter, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the quarter in this hand and the penny, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the penny out. If you're standing up, you can put it in your pocket, but if you're sitting, you just put it on your lap. And so you say, what's left? I had a quarter, a penny, I took the penny out, what's left? No, there's still a penny and a quarter. Let me do it again. I'm going to reach in, I'm going to take the quarter out, put that on my lap, and what's left? This time, there's nothing because it's magic. Here's how you do that. You take a quarter and a penny, and you glue them together. You might want to use super glue, and you might want to have your parents help you. So just a little dab of glue, these will be glued together. So that's how you start, with the quarter showing, and then you have a penny. Okay? So you say, I'm going to put a quarter and a penny in my hand. So what you're going to do is take the penny out, and as you close your hand, it'll turn over. So when you open it again, there's a quarter and a penny. Okay? So what you might want to do too, another way, you can take the penny, put that back in your hand, and say, I'm going to take the quarter out. No, that won't work. Let's don't do that way. Let's go back to the original way. Okay. I was going to try to show you something extra, but this is better. Okay. So you start with a quarter in your hand and a penny. And close up they can see it. So I'm going to take the penny out, put that on my lap. Okay, what's left? They'll say quarter. You say, no, there's a quarter and a penny. Let me do it again. I'm going to take the quarter out. You turn it so they can't see the penny glued to the back. I'm going to take the quarter out, put that on my lap. What's left? They'll say, well, the penny. So, well, no, this time there's nothing because it's magic. Okay. Let me show you one of my favorite tricks. It won't make the last one on this video. And this is one you can do at the dinner table at night. We're going to use a salt shaker. We're going to use a quarter and some napkins. So what you're going to do, you say, let me show you a trick. I'm going to take this quarter, I'm going to lay it here, and I'm going to take the salt shaker and I'm going to cover it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock the quarter through the table. Okay? Now, just so that you don't see how I do it, I'm going to take some napkins, just kind of put those over the top, maybe get a couple of napkins like this. Okay, and then you say, here we go. Now I want you to remember, okay, I've got a quarter here, and I'm going to cover it with this. And what's going to happen is, the quarter, well, you know what would be a better trick instead of knocking the quarter through the table? If we knock the salt shaker through the table, watch. You do like that, and the salt shaker goes right through the table. Now that's a great trick, and you can do that any place. You just need a little practice. Here's what you do. Take a quarter, lay that on the table, take the salt shaker, you put that on top. You need 2 or 3 napkins. You say, okay, I'm going to knock that quarter through the table. So you want them to think you're going to knock the quarter through the table. But I don't want you to see how I do it, so I'm going to cover this up with these 2 napkins. Now what you want to do, 3 or 4 napkins is probably better. You want to kind of push the napkins down so they have the same shape as the salt shaker, okay? So you say, now I've got the quarter there, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to knock that through the table. Now here's where the tricky part comes in. You take your hand and you put it back by the edge of the table. Don't do like that because they'll hear it. So that's a good lesson. First of all, you want to have your legs together because you're going to drop the salt shaker into your lap, okay? But the napkins will still have the shape of the salt shaker. So right now the salt shaker's in my lap, but nobody knows it because they think, there's the quarter, there's the salt shaker, I'm going to knock it through the table. But you know what would be a better trick than knocking the quarter through the table? It's knocking the salt shaker through the table. Watch. And you reach under, grab the salt shaker, and show them it just went through the table. I hope you enjoyed these extra tricks. I hope you enjoyed the tricks that are in the book. Be sure you practice, show your friends and family the tricks, and also down below there are some other videos with even more tricks that you can learn. Thanks again for buying my book. I also have magic kits that are available on Amazon. You can go, or have your parents go, to the toys and games section, type in Jim Stott Magic, and click, and you'll see lots of magic sets. I have my first magic set that really goes along good with the tricks you've learned here. I have a deluxe magic set, and then when you get a little older and more proficient, there's the ultimate magic kit, the card magic kit, the street magic kit, and there's a magic wand kit that goes along with any of the kits. So thanks again for buying my book. I hope you're having a lot of fun with your magic, and I hope to see you down the road one of these days and practice and have fun. Thanks a lot. I'm Jim Stott.